go.
It's r2youtube.com. That's r2 youtube.com, and tell them Velvet sent you. Oh yeah.
It's going down. This is Rasslin Rage. Do it now. This is Rasslin Rage. Scream it out loud. This is Rasslin Rage. Corey Fleming is the man who leads the brigade. It's going down.
This is Cody here with Rasslin Rage, and I am joined today by Lil Dickie Watts. Lil, right? You got to say it with the Lil. You can't say little. It's Lil Dickie Watts. So thanks for joining me today. It's so good to have you on the show.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me.
Awesome. Now, so I got to ask you a few questions. Now, you started your training with House of Truth.
Yes.
Like 2018? Am I right?
Yes, that was March 3rd of 2018.
March 3rd. Okay, so what inspired you to start training, and what ultimately led you to choose the House of Truth?
So, growing up, wrestling was kind of always something I was super into as a kid. Like, always watched it twice a week, recorded it on VHS tapes, like rewatched it. This is something I really liked and always thought was cool, and like literally dreamed about, as in like when I was a kid, I would go to sleep and I would dream about like having an entrance and like going down like the ramp and like being in the ring and like wrestling like all my favorite wrestlers like Christian and like Eddie Guerrero and people like that. And what led me to the House of Truth was just the convenience and the name behind it of like Truth Martini as a person.
Right,
and also
sure.
just like it being the location of it was just like so convenient. And so it's like I just at when as a legal adult, I can pretty much make all the decisions I want to make.
Right.
And at that point, it's like, why not do
Okay.
what I always want to do as a kid, you know?
Yeah, for sure. Now, so obviously, House of Truth, Truth Martini. What's Truth Martini like for those of us out there that have never met him? And I mean, obviously, he's your trainer. So what's it like?
He is as a teacher, he is like phenomenal. He's an amazing teacher. The way he like starts at the bottom and just like builds upon itself as like my favorite quote going through training is, "You haven't done this, but you've done this." As in, we're learning something new, but it's something that we've already done. We're just applying it in a different way. Okay. So it's just like as a teacher, as a like mentor, as someone to bounce ideas off of, like he's always there, and he always is trying to like tweak it, because he can always tweak it to make it different, make it better. Mm-hmm. He's always like, what if you try to like this, or what if you try to like that? So it's always good ideas. He's always given good feedback in that sense. And he is surprisingly what you would expect. Like he's if you've listened to him on other podcasts, he comes off as like I would say worldly. I would say like wise, and like the way he talks about like wrestling and like other life events is also very like experienced, I would say.
Okay.
So yeah, he's a great teacher. He's a great guy. I've had such good conversations with him, from wrestling to life to everything in between. So I think one of the better decisions I made was going to House of Truth, just for being able to interact and like meet Truth Martini in that sense.
Right. Well, for sure. Obviously, it's always a good time. Now, so you did your 12 weeks of training, and you're now actively on the independents here in Michigan, and who knows where else you'll be going. But what do you enjoy the most so far about working in the independents?
The thing I enjoy the most is, it might sound corny, but I really like seeing my own improvement as like a performer, as like in ring, and just like interacting, and just like everything that goes into making wrestling what it is. Seeing my own progression from match to match, from show to show, from month to month, week to week, even day to day. Like sometimes I'll just have a new idea and I'll just like practice it in training, and then I just go and I execute it, and it's like, oh, that's all I needed. That's all I needed was that one little tweak to put that little, whatever it is, over that extra little mile.
Right.
And having that is just like, just seeing myself become a better wrestler and a better person too, I guess, as corny as it sounds. Like, just seeing my own progression is just such a satisfying thing. It's tangible too, you know, like you can throw something out to the crowd and literally see how they react, just like right there, and it's amazing.
For sure. Yeah, and that's really awesome though, because you have to be able to see your improvement, or else, because if a lot of people, it's just like anything in life, if they don't see that they're improving, they give up, really, you know what I mean? And so you have to be able to see that, and I like that. Now, I got to ask you a serious question here, and this is the one, right? Okay, so, you know, this might bother other people, it doesn't bother me, but you're openly gay, okay?
Yes.
And your character's openly gay. You come out with the pride flag. It's Pride Month, okay? So I want to ask you, have you so far found any obstacles, or has anybody, like, we all know some people can be pretty nasty sometimes, crowd-wise or anything. Has there been any negative things that have happened because of that, or?
It's mostly just like random, isolated like incidents that like only happened once. Like I painted my nails black for like a couple shows just because I was trying new things, and some kid like yelled at me. He's like, "Why you got your nails painted?" And I'm like, "'Cause I'm pretty." And he was like, he like yelled something else at me like, "You're not pretty, that's dumb." And I'm like, "Oh, okay." And I was like, I thought it was cool. But yeah, you know, it's nothing like I'm surprised that fans have received me as well as they have, and like I've been able to like connect with them on that level. And in terms of like any obstacles, it's mostly myself, of just like being able to really like express myself to like other people, and like do what I want to do, like painting my nails, or coming out with the pride flag, or like I recently got new gear that's just it's white and pink, and it's just like I love it, and I'm glad that I did get it. And it's like showing up with my rainbow Converse at shows, like I don't know, it's a lot of the obstacles were like I put on myself, like as my own barriers of like not being I have always been as comfortable with myself as I am now, and being able to like, oh, I can just show up at like a show in like camo Daisy Dukes and like a crop top, and everyone's gonna be like, "Oh, dude, that's awesome," or I'm like, "Oh, cool," because I was so nervous to do this. Like I was like, "Oh man, this like is." It's like little things like that, you know. It's like just being more comfortable expressing who I am, because everything I do in the ring is something that it's all what I want to do. It's I don't want to do anything that I feel like misrepresents me and like who I am. And so it's like when I come out with my flag and wave it like all around, it's because I think that's cool, you know. It's like I think it's like if I can do that and like people can connect to that, then I want to do it, and I want everyone to like, you know, see like this is like it's we can do this now, and that's awesome.
Yeah,
like,
for sure, absolutely. And I mean, I'm really glad that this also is you being a professional wrestler gives you a platform to do that, and not only does it allow you to do that, but other people get to see you who may not necessarily be as comfortable as you are to do that, and that might give them that little bit of extra confidence. And I think that's awesome. I really do.
Yeah, that's something I didn't actually expect either. when I was like, oh, I can just do anything I want, like be myself. I was like, I get messages from fans like about that too, and I was like, man, I'm just me, and for people to like be sending me messages like that and just like helping them just by existing it's an
amazing feeling.
It's unfathomable to me.
Right,
like,
there
I
you
never
go.
thought that would be something that I would be able to like say or like feel, you know.
Right, for sure. That's awesome. Now moving from that, we know you're a participant in XICW Wrestling with Event Proving Ground.
Yes.
You were there last night. I was there. And you know, not unfortunate for you, but the one of the rookies wasn't able to show up, so they were automatically eliminated. So that moves your team on to the semifinals, and your veteran is the ever so intense Aaron Orion. So I gotta ask you, you know, it's season 6, episode 1. They're picking, and the veteran Aaron Orion picks Dickie Watts. So what's going through your head right then? You know, right as soon as Aaron Orion picks you, what's going through your head?
So when I was first, like, I wasn't advertised or booked for that show, and I was thrown in super last minute. So I was like, okay, well, let's just see what happens, I guess. Like, I wanted to work in XI since I started going to House of Truth. Like, I was
Right.
at their first Frasier show last March, and, like, I think the Hot Rock show after that.
Right.
And I wanted to be like, yo, this is amazing. Like, I want to be there. And so I was like, okay, well, let's just, like, see what happens. This is, like, the pickings are going down, and I'm like, oh, man, it's Aaron Orion's turn. And I was like, the way he did it, were you there with that night?
Yeah, oh yeah, I was there.
The way he picked me was like so like he was like to mess with me, and like I didn't know, like, you know, I didn't know he was gonna pick me, and so I'm like, oh my god, if Aaron picks me, I'm gonna freak out. And then he did, and then I think I like jumped up and down and like started stomping my feet or something. I was so excited to like be able to team with Aaron. That was such a like in my mind, that was the best case scenario of like for what I wanted. Like I wanted to be forced out of my comfort zone, and a lot of self-imposed barriers, you know, like as I mentioned, like it's hard to do that sometimes. Like I think other people feel that too, and so having someone so polarly opposite to myself, like Aaron Orion, and so like experienced also. Like he is a vet in just that's not a title. He is a veteran of the scene, and like it shows in the way he works and the way he helps me put together like what I want to do with my work and such. And so to be paired with him, like just by having that experience was like, just that whole night just like made it worth it. Like I like walked backstage, and it's just like I'm still celebrating, like all the way to backstage, and they're like, "Yo, you okay?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm just happy that I got picked by Aaron Orion."
Yeah, that's
like,
good.
What the heck? That's
well, I mean,
amazing.
so we're episode 6. We're going into episode 7 next month for season 6, and throughout these episodes, do you feel like there's had to be like kind of like a no pun intended feeling each other out a little bit, like, you know, like adjustments? You have to make an adjustment to each other, and you know, like last night, Sunday night, I mean, you guys, you know, at first you were kind of against each other, and then you started to work together, and you came out on top. So I mean, was there an adjustment process for you two?
Yeah, because Aaron is very no nonsense, I would say. The way he just exists in his day-to-day life. It's just like, this is just how I am. Like, what? Like, you see what you get. And so putting together our tag team stuff and like what we wanted to do, it was a lot of like, kind of like, oh, you know, I don't usually like do these crazy like combos that him and Jack Price do. Like, if you watch him and Jack Price team, like, it's a well-oiled machine.
Oh yeah.
Like Aaron is a tag team specialist, and so is like trying to like fit the way he wrestles and try to fit myself into that. There was a learning period, but I think our first show it took us a minute, but I think our first show we kind of showed like, okay, we can coexist together. It's like putting my antics, as we'll put it, putting my antics into our tag team isn't going to throw off the tag team. We can win our way. We don't have to sacrifice how each of us want to wrestle. You know, we can win. Yeah.
Well, with wrestling with a vet too, there's more to it than just the match, because you can lose the match and still continue on. Mm-hmm. I mean, case in point, last year, the Billy Ray Daniels won, and lost his match in the finals. So I mean, there's that. But I feel, and personally, I think you get a very good reaction from the fans when you come out. Just as soon as your music hits, and they know it's you, they're on fire, man. And there was last night, there was 2 guys in the front row. They were in love with you, man. They were all about you, dude. They were cheering you. But so you're moving on to the semifinals. There's 3 teams left. Okay,
Yes.
One of those teams is your good friend with Nolan Edwards. So I gotta ask, what happens if your team and his team are in the finals? Is there a line in the sand and you guys fight it out and hopefully shake hands afterwards, or what? How does that go?
Unfortunately, me and Nolan aren't on the best terms right now.
Oh no! What happened?
So me and Nolan, we had our immunity week, and so they put me and Nolan versus Josh Raymond and Aaron Orion, in a tag match for us. And in surprising turn of events, we managed to pull out the win over Josh Raymond and Aaron Orion. It was fast pinning combination. It was a good pinning combination, and we won. I couldn't believe we won. That was crazy. Our first tag team, like, we had been wanting to tag since last July. We finally got to tag, and it was amazing experience. But Aaron and Jack Price didn't appreciate us, and so they attacked us after our match. And Nolan has been not too happy about that, and he hasn't answered any of my texts or calls, and wouldn't talk to me backstage or before or after the show or anything. And it was like, okay, man, like, I apologized to him. Like, I tried to have Josh Raymond talk to him, tried to have Willie talk to him. Like, I've been talking to Josh Raymond more than I've been talking to Nolan. And, like,
Really?
me and Nolan have been friends since, like, July. And it's like, Josh Raymond's been helping me out more than Nolan. So,
but
man. Yeah, if it comes down to us in the finals, man, I don't want to believe too strongly in fate or destiny, but I have to tell myself that it's gonna be okay if I win.
Right, for sure. Absolutely. Absolutely.
I deserve to be where I'm at, and I do deserve to win for the effort I've been putting in.
Right, and if you didn't think that, why would you even be there, right?
Exactly. So if it's me and Mongo in the finals, if it's me and Nolan in the finals, if I'm in the finals, I feel confident that, however it goes is what it's meant to be. And if it's Nolan, then sorry, friend. I've been trying to reach out, but what has to be done, has to be done.
Right. Well, so, I mean, I hope that you guys can work it out and that you guys can eventually get back together, because you guys do make a great tag team. In the end, when it all comes out, whether you guys, Proving Ground or whatever, I mean, you guys make a great tag team, and the whole thing worked, and I really liked it, and it was amazing. But all that aside, what are your goals for your career going forward? Whether or not you win Proving Ground, let's just leave that on the side. What going forward? Where do you want to go from here?
I want to travel more. I think that's a big goal I've always had and always wanted to have, because I really like traveling. Like, it's something I love it. I like long car rides, like, with people that I enjoy, like, stuff like that's always been something I liked. So when I was considering, like, oh, do I want to do this as a career, I was like, oh, I get to, like, do that thing that I already liked in driving with people. So that kind of helped persuade that. So I want to travel more outside of Michigan, like I said, out of my comfort zone, because there's plenty of people down all around Southeast Michigan.
For sure.
Up in Northern Michigan too. Recently, I've been going there too, and like West Side, I want to get out to too. And so even just outside of my comfort zone of Michigan to other places in Michigan, I'd like to go to. Toledo, I wrestle there right now. I'd like to go to more places in Ohio. Indiana, I would love to get out to Indiana soon. And just I just want to test myself, to market myself in test myself against new people and new audiences, you know, like
For
how
sure.
good am I in front of people who don't know me? Like, can I
Right.
really have that kind of connection with people who may not be familiar with me? And so it's a lot of goals rooted in self-improvement,
Yeah.
which is the ultimate goal. But yeah, so like long-term, medium-term goal stuff, or no, medium-term, small-term goal stuff would be to travel more around Michigan, work for bigger promotions. Long-term, the sky's the limit. I don't have any super specific long-term goals. I just know that I will end up making a living off of wrestling and retiring and living off of the money I made from wrestling and being able to hopefully not retire too young, but like I would like to have a nice healthy safety net for myself where
Amen to that.
if something were to happen, then I would be
Right.
fine. Like I would
Right.
be able to retire if something were to happen.
For sure.
But yeah, you know, that's the super long term. For now, I just want to get out and see new places, see new faces, and
Right.
see how good I am at this whole wrestling thing.
Yeah, for sure. Well, I certainly wish you the best of luck in that, and I look forward to watching you in your career because, you know, I'm friends with guys like, you know, Weaponized, and I've seen these guys all come up from their beginning until now, and I tell these guys all the time it's like watching a reality TV show because I know you guys and it's really cool, and call me weird, but I live vicariously through all you guys because at one time when I was a young gun, I wanted to be a wrestler too, and I never pursued it. So that's awesome for you, and I hopefully, like you said, everything works out for you. But, you know, this leaves us open for maybe later on down the road, Dickie Watts comes back on Rasslin Rage, you know, and we do it again. So
Absolutely.
do me a favor. Give the people out there your social media accounts so they can hit you up and like you. And then if somebody would like to reach out and maybe book you for a show, give them that information too. And then I'll put that down in the description of the video as well.
Absolutely. So you can follow me on my Instagram, which is at Lil Dickie Watts. That's LilDickiewatts. Lil Dickie, not little. On Facebook, you can send me a friend request, and I will probably most likely 100% accept, which is just Dickie L. Watts. Has me with my gear on in the main profile picture. And if anyone needed to email me or reach out to me through there, that one is just DickieWatts115 at Gmail. That's gmail.com. That's DickieWatts115 at gmail.com. And yeah.
Awesome stuff. Well, again, a big thank you to Lil Dickie Watts. We'll have to, like I said, we'll have to do this again, and perhaps it's after you win Proving Ground. How's that?
Yeah, hopefully. Yeah, I'll
There
be
we
in a
go.
celebration interview.
There you go. Good. All right. Well, thank you so much, and I look forward to hearing from you again.
Thank you. Have a good one, man.
You too.
We are the
Bye-bye.
Death Blood Army. Vehicle City villain Aaron Orion.
Black Diamond Jack Price,
The Wild Child Jody Threat.
and Weaponized Alex Weir. And you're watching Rasslin Rage live on Friday nights at 8 o'clock on YouTube.